So happy to be here. Thank you very much for the nice introduction and the great opportunity to speak at this third SCION Day. It's so great to see so many of you here again, and really looking forward to discussions that we have throughout the day. So David and I are going to tell you about our effort of trying to get 1 million nodes onto the SCION network, or make them SCION enabled. And so in this journey, join us in the next 15 minutes, how and we're trying to do this, and why we're trying to have 1 million nodes and so on. So many of you are probably very aware of the advantages of the SCION technology. It offers high levels of security, stability, fast failover, high efficiency as well, control, many properties. So when you see this, you may wonder, well, how come we don't have this everywhere, right? How come we're not all making use of this today? So the reason is challenging. I'm going to go into details about this, but I want to first tell you about an exciting deployment and development that we've had since the last SCION Day. And so essentially, at the last SCION Day, François Wirtz was presenting a client bootstrapper software that enables any system that is on a SCION network to acquire the parameters needed to communicate natively with SCION. So the reason this is so exciting is that any application on any device that has this piece of software built in can immediately start making use of the SCION network and can start communicating natively with SCION. So in essence, here at ETH, we have SCION all over campus. So if you're connected to the Wi-Fi network here through EduRoam, thanks to Klaus, we'll talk more about that, then you essentially have the ability to natively communicate on the global SCION network. And so essentially, everyone here is one application update away from using native SCION if you're in this room. So hopefully by next time we have SCION Day, many of you will have an application that will be able to benefit and make use of native SCION communication. In fact, several companies today are already working on building SCION into their applications. And you may not know about this when you do the software update, and once this is built in, and you're in a network that is SCION enabled, your application will directly communicate this way. So I find this really exciting. Now, the question is, what are the challenges to actually get there? And what are the challenges also that many of us at the next SCION Day will be able to make use of this technology? So one reason, or what we've observed in the past couple of years, is that the deployment of a new internet architecture has many circular dependencies. So ISPs, of course, they ask, well, which institutions want SCION? But institutions, when you go to them, they say, well, which ISPs offer SCION? Because they don't want to, or they cannot deploy it unless it's present, and so on. So you see, I'm not going to go through all these circular dependencies, but there's many of them, including user demand, application support, and so on and so forth. So fortunately, we're able to break through a lot of these circular dependencies to get to an ecosystem that offers many of these aspects already. We've talked about standardization, that we already have a full set of standards now available. But in essence, the goal is to get to a critical mass of deploying entities so that we can break through all these circular dependencies. So the way we managed initially to get to a first critical mass is through the observation that SCION enables communication among a community of entities. So when you have a wide variety of entities that want to securely communicate with each other, traditionally they needed to get a leased line, but today they can get on the leased line to all the other entities, so that would create a mesh like this, which is expensive and inflexible and takes a lot of management overhead to set up. So with a SCION network, ideally an entity gets one or multiple SCION connections and can then benefit from a lot of security properties for the communication in the entire ecosystem. So this was one of the main aspects that created and enabled also the SSFN, the Secure Swiss Finance Network, that then enables all the banks and financial institutions that are connected to this network to securely communicate with each other. So this SSFN, and thanks to the SSFN, an ecosystem was created of ISPs and that offer SCION connectivity, mostly in Switzerland, but also expanding now across the world. And we see several entities like InnerCloud and Telindus and LGU Plus and SCION that are international and offer and enable SCION connectivity also outside of Switzerland. Also, I should say Swisscom also has many connections outside Switzerland, like in LA or Singapore, where you can get SCION connectivity. So the SSFN essentially has enabled this network to grow, and this is really exciting. Another use case that has enabled us to break through these circular dependencies was facilitated by an approach called the GATE product by Anapaya, which essentially converts standard IP traffic in the network into SCION traffic. So you can imagine the system being deployed in an ISP that then receives the standard IP traffic, and if the destination is reachable on the SCION network, this traffic can be converted by this device into SCION traffic and delivered as such. So with this, you can essentially enable end hosts that have no special software or no knowledge about SCION to make use of the SCION advantages to reach a data center in a secure fashion. So what this use case has enabled is that HIN was able to build a secure healthcare network, and we're going to hear more about this from Urs later in the day. And that creates, and this use case now is also driving forward a lot of uses of the SCION technology. So thanks to all these use cases, a whole ecosystem has formed, and you see on this slide a lot of these entities. And this is really wonderful, and we're very happy and also a bit proud that we're able to, that this happened in this way. And now we're thinking about what is the next step? How can we now get to the next level of SCION usage at the global scale? How can we get to the point where individual entities will SCION enable their applications, and if they do so, get a real advantage? And that's why we're trying to get to this 1 million hosts, and how we're planning to do this, David will tell us more about.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Adrian, for the opportunity to work on such an exciting project. So let me tell you more about the SCION Education Network. Our goal with this deployment is to connect universities and research institutes with SCION in order to enable them to participate in the exciting research on path-aware networking and multipath communication that really provide great opportunities to improve applications. We are providing these institutions with the software packages and setup instructions needed to enable exactly native SCION applications to make use of the infrastructure. Also, thanks to a solution called SCION IP Gateway, even legacy IP applications are able to benefit from the properties that SCION provides. So, as Adrian mentioned, our ambitious goal is to provide native SCION connectivity to 1 million hosts. We believe this is a realistic target. Not only do we have many large universities with more than 10,000 hosts, but also these networks are generally very open for innovation. Now, why 1 million? Even if only 1% of the hosts in these networks would participate in SCION applications, would already have 10,000 users in total. And we believe that this is really a compelling number for application developers to get encouraged to work on developing SCION applications. This is a snapshot of the SCION education network today. We have already deployments in 3 continents, US, Europe, and Asia, and we have interested R&D institutions also in the rest of the world. Now, in the following, let me highlight 3 major deployments. Starting off with SCION. SCION has given us, by the way, is the Pan-European Research and Education Network, and has given us the opportunity to deploy SCION in 3 points of presence: Frankfurt, Paris, and Geneva. And SCION members, National Research and Education Networks, are able today to simply connect to these points of presence by establishing layer 2 links over the SCION service portal. Later on, Klaas is going to talk more about the SCION as well. Now, CREONet is another big deployment. CREONet is the Korean research network run by KISTI, and we're grateful there to have 6 locations: Amsterdam, Singapore, Seattle, Hong Kong, Daejeon, where we are able to run SCION border routers. And thanks to 2 links over Netherlight and Singaren, we're also able to connect this deployment to the SCION deployment. Another big deployment is here in Switzerland, SWITCH, the Swiss National Research Network, which is also connected to the SCION education network. And SWITCH is offering SCION natively to its customers, to the universities and research institutions here in Switzerland. A concrete use case that is already making use of the SCION education network today is the cyber defense campuses by ArmaSwiss, with presence in Lausanne, Thun, and Zurich. And all these campuses are now also connected through the SCION education network with CCD COE NATO campus in Tallinn via SCION. Now, to show you that it's also possible to use this infrastructure with native SCION applications, I would like to show you in the following a small demo. We have worked with the Brave browser team to bring native SCION support into the Brave browser without any support from the operating system. So let's play the video. So the SCION support is brought into the Brave browser with a simple browser extension that you can see here. This can be enabled in a simple step. We have made available, for example, the ETH Zurich website over this browser. You can have a look at the path that are taken there, and you can see the resources that are actually loaded over the SCION network. We have also made available our own group website at my university over this network, which is available over SCION purely. And as usual, you can also check there the path that is taken over the SCION network. Other sites that have been made available thanks to our connection to the Equinix data center in Ashburn, Virginia. We are also providing access to the kernel mirror there at Equinix data center. And now if there are websites that are not yet available via SCION, for example, bbc.com, then the browser just simply falls back to a delivery over the regular IP network, as you can see here. If you're interested in the details of this demo, I would like to invite you to visit the demo booth outside, where we will be happy to answer your questions about that. All right, so concluding, I think you can see that the SCION production network is expanding with the deployment that we are currently doing in the SCION education network. Our very ambitious goal is to provide 1 million hosts access to native SCION connectivity with that deployment. And as we are working on native SCION applications, we believe that very soon we will be able to give you the possibility to use SCION only after a simple application update. For more information, you can find our documentation on the corresponding URLs here. And now we are very happy to take questions if they are. Thank you very much.